Hi my dudes, and welcome back to Peel the Green. Today I'm going hunting for bonsai in the park, and I'm going to try and make a root over rock bonsai for free. Many local parks and areas around your house actually have hidden gems and available bonsais for you to collect. I'm lucky enough to have this park 5 minutes from my house. It's full of these Port Jackson figs. Sometimes I come down here and I just search around for little saplings. Here's a little poplar tree. There are heaps of these around, and it's not illegal to take them because they've just germinated naturally. On this particular visit to the park, I found a little Port Jackson growing in the top of a tree stump. I pulled it out post haste, and it was a great specimen. I had some great ideas for it straight away. The haul. We have 5 of these tiny little poplar tree saplings. These are pretty cool. They're the trees that produce the seed pods that burst into really little itchy fine powder. At school we used to call them itchy bombs. They don't look like much now, but here's another one. Here's a poplar tree that I picked up at the exact same park about 6 months ago, I think. So you can get some pretty interesting shapes to them, and now that I have a whole bunch of them, maybe a future forest, we'll have to wait and see. The find of the day for sure was this beautiful Port Jackson fig, or Port Jackson ficus. One of my favourite species to work with. Big leaves, but they have these really cool, interesting root bases. Sometimes they can get a bit bulbous, but you can utilise these and do a lot of different things with them. This one, I'm going to do a root over rock right now. This is the rock I have found that I am planning to put this Port Jackson ficus onto. It's just a beach rock that I found. And the pot I want to use is this blue pot, which is quite a nice size. It has this old, gnarly, I think it's some sort of hibiscus, which I have been planning to repot because I picked it up online and it's just in potting mix, and I want to put it into some bonsai soil. So I'm going to take this out with the plan to repot it in my next video, so it won't be without a pot for long. So we'll do that first. Beautiful. Now this pot is free of its dirty old hibiscus, and it is ready. So I've got two drainage screens covering the drainage holes and a layer of bonsai soil in. And that's about the right level for my rock. Just place it in and look at it like that from the front. Now that we've got our level right, we can push that back. And we can start thinking about how we're going to place this Port Jackson onto this rock. I'm going to use this twine to attach the Port Jackson onto the rock because it should hold it there long enough for it to get its roots established around the rock and stabilize itself, but it's also not going to pinch the roots and cut into the roots as the tree grows. It'll just deteriorate and break down on its own. Hopefully by that point the tree has established itself properly. So here we go. Here is rock. Here is tree. Place. Nailed it. I'm thinking the tree does, all its roots come to this side. So I'm thinking that the roots will probably have to be down this side. Okay, so far so good. And then I'll wrap this one down like a Christmas present. Okay, it's getting somewhere. Next, I might cut these off and start another one. More twine. Okay, this time I'm going to do a starting point and I'm just going to wrap around the twine over and over and over again. I want the tree to sit like this. Trussing up the tree. Okay. All right, I think the tree is tied on enough that I should be able to plant it. I'm going to stuff sphagnum moss in around these spaces so it promotes more aerial roots coming out and gripping the rock. So I think that's the position I want to have in the pot. I know the tree is almost exactly in the center of the pot, and that's a bit of a no-no with single tree bonsais like this. But because of the rock off to one side, I think it gives it a bit of dimension. So I think it's okay. So I'm going to stick with that for now and let it settle in, and we can always repot it in a year or two and reposition it, or even put it in a different pot. But for now, I'm quite liking that. The majority of the root base will go beneath the soil, which is what we want. So let's do that. So filling in all this space with soil, filling all the air pockets. So this soil is just standard cacti and succulent mix from a nursery or hardware store. It's essentially the same thing as the bonsai mix, just a lot cheaper per litre. Fill in the gaps around the rock because the roots will probably end up growing down in around here. Add another rock. Now if you bury your rocks ever so slightly, it looks like they've been there for a very long time. When they haven't, it's all illusions, it's all lies. I'm actually liking the look of that, it's kind of cute. Alright, so if I want to promote aerial root growth in here, I am going to stuff some sphagnum moss. Sphagnum moss comes in these blocks. It's a bit pricey, but you don't use much of it, so it lasts quite a while. And I'm just going to stuff some in between the tree and some of these strings. And what that is going to do, I mean, it doesn't look good now. It doesn't look great now, but in time, this is going to hold moisture up to the root base. that is pretty much it. I know it doesn't look like it's finished product yet, but after a year or so, I will remove the rope, what's left of it, and I'll also remove the sphagnum moss, and it should be well attached to the rock on its own. But I quite like the composition of it all, and considering the tree was free out of my local park, I'm quite happy with this. And that's it for my root over rock found in a park. I really like it, and I'm looking forward to where this tree goes in the future. See you next time, guys, on PLB Green.